In many ways, my journey with Sigma parallels the biggest moments of my career every step of the way, which is crazy to think about and look back on. I remember picking up my first Sigma lens, actually it was this one. I was in San Diego shortly after the Art line launched, and someone handed me a 24-70 f2.8 in EF mount. This is the first Sigma lens I ever used right here. You know, I did all the things I normally do. I'm sure you guys do this too. I felt the zoom ring, the focus ring, and I did that weird thing we all do where I pointed the camera straight down to see if the zoom extended just based on gravity. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. And then I remember pointing the camera at something and found that the lens was almost parfocal, which entirely blew my mind given the price point. I had this perception of Sigma as being this third-party manufacturer that was entirely changed in that moment, mostly by the Art line as a whole, to be honest. The company was simply making optics that were better than what the big guys were engineering. It's as simple as that for me. I then went on to make my first independent feature. It's this little rom-com drama called The Good Catholic, starring Danny Glover, and a member of the Sigma team, Aubrey, shout out to Aubrey, came to the premiere of that film. And then Aubrey invited me to the ASC Clubhouse for the launch of the Sigma Cine Primes around 2016. There's a Cine Prime right here. That film eventually sold to Netflix and helped launch my work on the scripted side. The Cine Primes, though, in particular, have stayed with me over the years on dozens, maybe hundreds of projects at this point, including television projects for most of the major streamers and networks in the US, and even a few films along the way. My love for the Cine series is mostly related to the versatility of that line in particular. They're sharp from edge to edge, they have a neutral look from a color perspective, and you know, they have all those ease of use features that you want, like unified front sizing, 0.8 pitch gears, 180-degree focus throw, and I've taken them all over the planet, from sound stages in the United States to the jungles of the Philippines to F1 tracks in Austria. I mean, I have put so many miles on my set of Cine Primes. Now, you can also add look filtration to the Cine line, of course, beyond your typical ND filter, and that opens up a new world of potential, of possibilities for various looks that you can achieve. For me, I'm a big fan of playing with filters that might soften the image slightly or mess with the contrast slightly, but you know, the sky is really the limit here. The Cine Primes, you know, I look at them as a platform that you can sort of build a great look on in all sorts of different directions. Okay, we have to talk about the classics for a second though. What a unique look. Still sharp, but lower contrast and just an absolutely gorgeous flare character. I need more people to try out the classic Cine Primes. I mean, one of my favorite shoots with the classics, it involved this aerial artist. And you know, the classics helped add this sort of vintage aesthetic that was just absolutely gorgeous. You know, but you still have the modern touches that you expect from a Cine Prime, you know, made in modern times. Lately though, I've been excited to work with the newer mirrorless primes in the I series, and my team and I have found tons of ways to mount those on the Ronin 4D or other gimbals and action cam builds where we need to keep everything small. For my day-to-day runaround pictures, of course, or videos, I'm using my BF camera with an I series prime. If you haven't seen that setup in silver, you are missing out. It looks incredibly cool. I've had a weird career in the sense I've worked in tons of different genres, from projects like America's Most Wanted to NBC's Wild Kingdom to RuPaul spin-offs to scripted, unscripted features, everything from Dungeons and Dragons shows, comedy stage shows, to survival shows with Bear Grylls. It's a wide range. But Sigma's optics and cameras, especially the FP camera with its director's viewfinder mode, have had a place in all of that. And I think that speaks to the versatility of these optics and cameras as a whole. More than the cameras or the lenses though, I've found that the Sigma team as a whole has been there for me, and You know, in a way, we've grown together in this weird industry we're in, as the industry has changed and morphed over the years. I've known the team at Sigma now for nearly a decade. And there's an attention to detail on the engineering side and a willingness to listen to the filmmaking community as a whole that I find to be just truly unique and special in this industry. Thanks for watching. I'm Graham Sheldon, Sigma Ambassador, and that's my Sigma journey.